His story been out since 1995. Thanks for tuning in to another insightful topic and live stream with the You Make It TV YouTube channel. Happy Saturday to you guys out there. Today's date was December 19th, 2025. You're encouraged to like, share, and subscribe to show your everlasting support. Whether we're here with the inspiration quotes and insightful topics and stories, or doing something different on YouTube, which we will be doing it too soon because I want to go more into the direction of vlogging. Which, anyways, if you're new to our channel, welcome 1,000 times. I'm your favorite audio host, Ms. Arthur Tedashir. We keep it real, we keep it raw, and we like to share commentary and reaction to stories, topics, and events going on across the globe. So that's what we do here at We Will Make It TV. We just like to keep it mature. Our content is definitely for mature audiences. That doesn't mean that you can't be a kid to come listen in over here, but you do have to be mature. But for those topics that might be a little more, I want to be more respectful and let people know, like, hey, for mature audiences only, because maybe that's the mix up. Mature and how old you is two different things. Y'all already know how they go. But yeah, so it started with me just researching blogging again. You know what I'm saying? Kind of writing out my New Year's resolutions, what I want to do different as far as content, because I could be a writer and not record at all. I mean, a writer and what they do, they get paid a whole nother way. But content is content. And I was like, okay, so I'm looking at what influencers go through, what kind of blogs I might want to get into. So it led me into what people were saying about Kai Sinai right now. Sinai, however you say his name. He just is a very well-known streamer. Of course, streaming is a very it's just a really trendy thing that people do now. It's a way that they can get their internet personalities and stuff out there probably a little quicker, but it doesn't mean that they might not go through the same things that other people that are trying to break through certain industries go through. You think, oh, they're just little internet influencers. Nobody's really paying attention, but you'd be surprised. Just people that know him say they feel like he's changed, he's different. Same narrative, different person. Maybe some even accusing him of selling his soul. These are such interesting topics to me. Because how do you go from just streaming in the comforts of your basement, home, living room to everybody in the world wanting to offer you deals and sit next to you, close to you? And then the next thing you know, they're more and more distant from the people that knew them the most. Now, some say it's normal to outgrow certain environments, people, and stuff like that, but is this true even for internet personalities, streamers, big time streamers, and influencers too? We really don't get in the streets and get all in their personal lives and businesses and say, are these people still talking to their family members after they hit a certain number of subscribers? Because for people to just automatically assume that, it's crazy. Like, social media is a different place. Why would you expect everybody's check mark boxes to be checked just because they have a huge following or a huge number of subscribers does not mean that all the relationships in their life are perfect. That's crazy anyway. Cause so anyways, that's what got me to first start thinking about like Easy E too though. It's like all these different personalities or influences that became very, very popular and famous, uh suddenly having these narratives that surround them like, oh, they start changing, they were different. It's just crazy, because Easy E was one of those, if anything, they would use as an example of somebody who did maybe get close to influences and big names and stuff, but still wanted to go the independent route. He had what it took. It looks like he had what it took. He definitely had everything he needed. So what else could be against that? You feel me? A person wanting to take their own personal endeavors because they don't want to sign somebody else contracts. They don't want to join. They don't want to stay with what y'all doing forever. You should want to grow. That's what they were. That's what I was saying in defense for Kai Sinai. For those that were saying he changed, he different because he has a big following all of a sudden. No, outgrowing the old you is very real too. If you outgrow the old you, you're gonna outgrow the things that were attached to the old you. It's a slow process. But I'm just saying, look how people can't tell anymore. They can't tell when it's just growth versus a person being funny. They got a bigger following now, so they just stop talking to everybody. Like that doesn't make sense anyway. Maybe the growth part is real. The stop talking to everybody part starts to look suspicious when you have too many influencers having to do the same thing or feeling like they have to. It makes you wonder. We're not trying to be nosy. Like, are people asking people to do this in exchange for other things? Like, making it like an illusion, like making it appear that, yeah, look how your life blows up once you cut everything you ever knew and loved off. Everybody doesn't do that clearly. 'Cause you see a lot of people still hang out together every day. Everybody's not going to think that cutting that's just, I don't think that's the route or journey for everybody. Me personally, my little opinion doesn't matter. I'm just one more in the world. But I don't feel like that's the first thing that people should think every time they see somebody go distant or a little more independent. I mean, when you say independent, is it just with their business ventures? Is it with their family ventures? What do you mean? There's a million ways and a million areas in life a person can be independent. But we can understand when it comes to the industry and business, like it's not only a smart business move. This is why it's smart. Nobody can hold. They know that. That's why they don't want a lot of people just owning their own brand at the end of the day. If it's gonna go that big, that far into the industry, yeah, probably gonna run into some gatekeepers or somebody. Because why should we let you make that much money under your independent branch and name? We have Sony and all these other people out here, right? That maybe they look at it as competition once you get to a certain. Actually, they don't look at it as competition. Maybe that's the point of them coming to you, offering you a deal. You feel me? I don't know. I don't know. But it just had me thinking about Easy E a little bit. And why is it these persistent patterns of people saying, well, they was acting a little different, uh, or they changed right before these. It's just stupid. But anyways, wouldn't the other people that Eazy-E slept with, wouldn't they have come out at some point and said, yeah, I contracted it, I'm sick too? Because I'm still researching. You know, this is one of those conspiracy stories. Like, you can go back to it any time. It's still going to be as interesting as the last time you researched it. It's just crazy. You're not going to find much when you research. Now, what are you going to do? Try to get close to the people that moved? Well, some people try. Not get close, but maybe get some insight or just like interviews with some of them, right? And they say to this day, not like a whole lot of women came forth and said, "Oh yeah, it's true. Easy had AIDS, and we had it too." And why is that? Because it is their choice to keep something like that personal, or is it? I just feel like this one of them cases that's gonna end up probably resurfacing too. Just a strong prediction. Like they should definitely go back and look off into that. And what's crazy, he was in the same link circle, the same link circle. I was trying to see, like, they probably weren't having big Diddy parties yet, but there were probably similar parties going on around East E Town too that were big. They probably got him to come to these parties back then too. And it's sad because if you're gonna say somebody died of that, bro, like, shouldn't some of the people that y'all claim he slept with so many people, okay? How many people in the industry do this? They do have a point with that. Like even Magic Johnson ain't still here. He's even still here. He showed you can live years with that, so it's just still something strange with that too. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so back to that part. Why hadn't more women came up and said, yeah, it's true? Because we see too. This man had children. As a matter of fact, right before he died, the last thing he was trying to do is get back to work, get back to music, get back on track with his independent venture business ideas. He had artists that he was busy with and everything. Like he could have got right back on track. But it is funny when you think about it. Like, this is what he would have been doing very next once he. This is what he was last known to be busy doing. That's what I'm saying. Like, who had a problem with that? Mm, as long as you running around with the crew, the label people, and doing everything they say, it just shows you. You don't see people talking about that as much no more, but I know people care. Because not that long ago, they did have a new NWA movie coming out. I forgot the name. No, was it an NWA movie? I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to keep up. I know they did the Tupac All Eyes on Me, and I thought that was a good movie or whatever. But I think they did a recent NWA movie not that long ago. Now, y'all know, for those that don't know, you come across, I mean, because if you just type in Easy E videos on YouTube, all kind of different people have done their own versions of documentaries and conspiracy stories that surround, reporting of these conspiracy stories or whatever. But that's crazy to me, like how there was a whole conspiracy. Somebody probably stuck him with that stuff. Because wouldn't his other partners have said they had it too? Like, look at how today people are more vocal about it. Like, if they feel like they contracted something from somebody, they are more vocal about it. Like, who's expecting you to just sit around quiet? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because now they make you like, you got something to hide. Like, oh, you not, man, come on, bro. More people are more vocal about that today because you got the internet. Word of mouth spread faster than ever. People can be talking about it. You feel me? Something so serious, what they were mentioning about his story too, is how you can carry it for so long. When you're talking about HIV and AIDS, something about it stays in one state for a while. Like you can have it for years, and it ain't it's all kind of stuff you hearing about this stuff. Even as medical technology continues to advance, they find out more about it. You see, and it's crazy how something can already be bad the way it is, but when you add a whole bunch more to it, you know what I'm saying? These kind of things can mutate. That's one thing that can mutate. It's been a lot of conspiracy stories surrounding this disease alone. Like, where did it even come from? But you suddenly see them spread rumors about this disease and people supposedly have it. Let's take it back there to the beginning. And when it just rampantly spread it, just like COVID did, that's how they say it happened. Whether I think it was in the 70s or 60s, but suddenly you just saw stories and they trying to warn everybody to be warned and be prepared for a disease called AIDS back then. At the same time where needles were more prevalent in low income, poverty stricken communities due to the drug epidemic. And this particular drug epidemic, yep, people was doing all kind of stuff, but needles was a big part of that back then, and it is now. That's what make it sad, because it's always been drug addicts in the world, but not everybody do it the way where they sitting up there sticking themselves. You feel me? But it's almost like they gotta make you look like, or if you just say the word drugs, people supposed to automatically feel like you be around needles and stuff all the time. That's crazy, because no, everybody don't. Unless they gotta go to the doctor. Some people, that's the only place they see needles. What is you talking about? Oh, or if they just go to the tattoo shop. So I've been trying to advocate for people to be careful with that too. Like people just go to people's house and get a tattoo. I don't care. You can't always fully trust every tattoo shop, just like you can't always trust every place that say they do nails and hair. You gotta be careful. But them places with nails, you damn sure have to be paying attention. And even the doctor's offices, like, I'm not gonna put my full 100% faith. Yes, my body, my presence might be at the doctor's office, but my faith, my spirit, I'll never 100% put that in another human being. That's crazy. Hell, the Bible tells you don't do that. You're gonna be failed every time. But yeah, let's not play like needles is not a way you can hold inject people with things. And it's crazy. Like it was a whole story earlier this year at some music festival in London or somewhere where a crazy person just went around sticking people with needles. You see how these stories they be in the headlines, but people will easily forget about it. Like it'll just end up in the back of their mind, like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. No, that wasn't that long ago. It shouldn't matter where it happened at. Look at the state of minds that people is in, or the kind of ideas people come up with. Oh yeah, we'll hit people with needles at a big music festival where there's thousands of people at. That was literally on the news recently. And I think I did a insightful topic about it. I'm like, did y'all hear about this on the news? So what do? I don't have all the answers to life, but I do encourage. I told people that I stopped going to mass events. You might catch me at one here or there, but like on a real soul level, it's just being warning after warning. Like, or if you go to them, you need to be practicing situational awareness for sure. Because why would you imagine you going to a music festival that somebody might be out there doing it? That's not something, I mean, you can be as prepared as you want to, but you gonna wear 12 layers of clothes to make sure a stranger, just in case a stranger is feeling like poking people? That's weird, bro. And they want to change it like, well, as long as the people ain't thinking about it. No, we thinking about it. As long as needles exist, we don't have to trust things or let people get close to us. It don't take but a quick 2 seconds. That's what I don't mean to try to have people walking around paranoid and nervous, because I'm not going to live that way, but I might be more, and people could think you weird, like, why this person, COVID is over, this person's still trying to stay 6 feet apart from everybody. Like, look at the kind of stuff that's been going on, though. They can pretend, yeah, I just want to be close to you. No, if you're a stranger, back up a little bit, actually. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to earn trust no more. I don't mind earning anybody's trust. If you know you're an honest person and people can trust you, why would you lose sleep at night worried about who don't? It's stupid. No, this is bigger than, oh, I trust him, her, or that person I don't. These people at that music festival didn't know the people. When you go to a concert, you're not going to know everybody there, bro. So, yeah, it has a lot to do with trust. You're trusting paying all this money for a concert ticket to go to a music festival or something, and then you can't trust it. Because, see, something like a lot of people getting stabbed by a needle would be a security issue, too. But you put all your money into these concert tickets. You need to call and ask other stuff. Check on how much security they're gonna have there. What are their emergency exit plans? You feel me? Stuff we've never had to think about before. But yeah, most of the concerts, that's what it's gonna be. If you hear that it's some kind of tragedy at a concert, it pretty much goes back to security. And security, y'all gotta remember, security just be human beings. Like they can't be prepared for everything these days. Like, but you want to have enough in the place that if something go down, you know what I'm saying? You got enough backup and people to fall back on. Plus, I was doing a little research. I found out he could have had anywhere up to, because this is new to me. I'm like, I had never heard about Easy having so many kids, but they say he had a lot of kids too. You see how somebody's story can just be easily buried with conspiracy, but he did have people that surrounded him that loved him and cared about him too. They ain't let that story go. They said some of that stuff that surrounding his story don't even make sense because y'all never show no pictures of him. Not like the celebrities today where people got pictures and footage where they like, yeah, this person definitely getting skinny or showing signs that they sick. They said they never seen it with Easy. They just had to be for, oh, okay, they're like a rush job. Like, yeah, the person in the hospital, the person got sick, now they did. You didn't give people time to see. I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, we gotta go deep in here. We gotta go deep in here because it's like, what? You want people to just turn a blind eye to the fact that no. The the existence and prevalence of needles, not just in the medical field. Once again, I named a whole nother industry, which is the tattoos. You notice a lot of these people blow up with fame and notoriety. Well, especially in the rap industry, suddenly they gotta go get a million tattoos, right? I mean, I'm not mocking. I'm just paying attention to what I've been seeing. Like now, suddenly you got a whole bunch of tattoos because you just signed $1 million deal or whatever. Like you gotta be careful with it. They could tell you, yeah, this the best artist we got. This the best tattoo artist we got in the industry. Hmm. Still, you don't know that. That's my point. You don't know that person. All you know is that tattoos usually involve needles. Or I don't know. It have been a lot of news stories of people going crazy with needles. If they're not injecting people, they're injecting the food. But and then that's a product you can just easily. I think a syringe, like anybody can order that. That's what's scary about it. Anybody can order that off places like Temu, Amazon. You can just sit there and order syringes, bro. We're not finna play like that's not true. So you just never know what people own. They don't even be in the medical field. They not nurses, doctors, nothing. What you need? You need to be flagged every time somebody orders those these days. Just go ahead and be watching. Cause what is you ordering needles for? And we still don't know what happened to Easy Bro. Like, what? You know how people will shout out other people's names that, because when anybody leave here, pass on, and it's already sad when it's in the black community. But it's the way that he did. They said they had started a campaign, you know what I'm saying, AIDS awareness and all of that, and they used his face, his name, his memory to kind of share advocacy and awareness, and that's beautiful and all. But can you first find out how the person that needs to be a part of the awareness? Y'all just gonna slap a narrative on it and say, yeah, he was sleeping with a whole bunch of people. Like, bro, people is still doing it today. They still living too. You see? So that's why this conspiracy still lives today. Like, what really happened? What really happened to you? You feel me? And people saying it ain't much footage and photos of him just see, and it's crazy because today they'll throw somebody on the internet in the meantime talking about they look sick. Look, this person moves away, this person look different. Is that okay? Okay, well, they didn't have social media back then. They didn't have social media back then. Yeah, like, still wonder what happened to this man. Y'all can say people look sick all you want to today. Obviously, they found something. That's another thing with HIV and AIDS. I feel like they found a cure for that a long time ago. I feel like they found what is linked. Of course, they have a cure to it. Some people believe it was manufactured in a lab too. When you start talking about certain STDs, bro, they ain't ready to talk about that because, like, syphilis was damn sure proven to be like some whole man-made stuff, bro. Like, they wanted to start some experiments and just be cooking up stuff to put in needles and serve people. You feel me? Like, I do believe bacterial sicknesses and all of that is real, but as advanced as medicine and stuff is now, I do feel like they found a cure for that. But see, look how much money you can make off of something. Then you tell people things that have them full of fear. Like, yeah, yeah, people don't live long once they get this right here. The whole time, God done bless you with abundant plants and herbs and everything you need to heal yourself from whatever these earth have to throw at you, too. I seen a documentary of a man, which I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but he holistically healed himself at home several times of cancer. He just stopped going to doctors. He didn't have the money to afford that. We're gonna see more of that. All these different changes happening in the healthcare field. Uh, I mean, and we all see what's going on with Medicaid, Medicare, all these different changes. What do you think people are gonna resort to? It's like they trying to hold on they best, bro, to the sinful seven deadly sins lifestyles when life and reality is right there showing you like, no, people not gonna have it for too much longer. If you want to keep being careless with your lifestyle at a time that nurses and doctors are being laid off, quitting, being fired, being prosecuted, all the laws and bills are changing surrounding the cost of healthcare, that's not a time to play with your health. I do agree. No time was time to play with your health, but at a time where you're seeing all this go on in the healthcare industry at the same time, and they had medicine back then in easy time too. I'm just saying how much it has advanced since then. You feel me? So I just didn't like the narrative that surrounded the way he died because you didn't say Elvis Presley, all these other people that was known to sleep with a lot of people because they had that much energy pool on their fans. Or y'all know how these. I don't want to just say people that have sexual music and be in the streets and rap sleep with a lot of people all the time. But it would be easy for people to believe such a narrative, right? Because of course that's how you. It's like they've been working for a long time to make low income, poverty stricken people in areas look like that. Like, oh, they're nasty. They're nasty. They're sick. They don't take care of their children. Come on, bro. Easy. He had clearly showed you he had the intelligence and wits and everything to make it out the hood. He actually showed you that he cared about hood politics too. He was one of the main ones, way before any of the people right now. You feel me? He wasn't just out there with no mumble jumble rap. He actually would get on interviews and different in his regular life, showing people, hey, rap ain't all. They sure good at trying to make you look like you're only talented in one area. That it's easier for them that way. They're gonna find out where you're talented and just try to use that the whole time. A person like Easy or the next person is talented 10 different ways. Like, no, he was not just a rapper. Actually, he is safe to say he was also an advocate against police brutality, against violence. You could say that Easy wasn't against violence, but he spoke about this a lot. Like, if he was the president, bro, I'm sure he would have did a lot to quote unquote help the people. Because he spoke on many different things he just felt like wasn't right as far as police brutality and racism. I mean, so what? But he was speaking on it. And I don't you just love how he's like, no, 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 Easy, he was just a rapper having sex with a lot of women. Clearly that's not the truth. I mean, he probably was having sex with a lot of women, but why just make him look like that's all you feel me? It's like saying he didn't get back to his community no other way. All he did, so you can just see the resistance and the fight that was going on in his life anyway. This is just my reaction to Easy story. This is my reaction. Okay? You can have your opinion and people are gonna have their conspiracies for years to come until the truth finally do come out. I'm just saying the truth people were told, they don't, to this day, they don't really sit right with them. Why you didn't have a whole bunch of women come out saying that, yeah, he gave us this too. Yeah, he really had it. They tested the last person he was with, as the story goes. And that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. They tested her. And they say she was playing or something like that. So how was he out here having it and not getting it? I mean, mm, it's one of the first things you're gonna do. Okay, and even if you try to go back and test all of his partners, bro, you know how many people them partners probably been with since that person? That's the thing when it comes to those type of tests. And it's like, where was the health department back then, bro? I know the health department be busy in California, bro. It's just a little jokey joke, but y'all know that's like home of Hollywood, home of so many different things surrounding the industry. That's crazy. Like, that's a lot of low key hate towards a person just because injection, when you really think about it, you can get a person woke or while they sleep. Like, but the truth is, it don't take but 2 seconds for you to touch or inject somebody in that way. It don't take but 2 seconds. Two, three, 4, 5 seconds. Of course, they keep showing that one. They keep showing that one interview on the late night show where Suge Knight was on there making a joke about uh, a way that certain people use. I don't know who he was talking about. The mob mafia don't look good for him. They don't just even mention it because everybody had come was like, what? And he even said it on the show. He was like, yeah, you just take it. And then take some HIV blood and inject it in another person. That is crazy, bro. And if a person will weaponize a needle, they'll weaponize a person against another person. Needles are for injecting vaccines or drawing blood. And then, like I said, we all know people use them to tattoo, and others use them for drug purposes, but to try to make people it suddenly all look like, yeah, everybody in the country is using needles. That's stupid. Well, who's running the businesses? Who's teaching the kids? Who's being the parents? Who's driving the Ubers and the buses? Like, where are the politicians? Clearly, everybody can't be using needles. Then, just like they asked in the 70s, back then in the low project communities where you wanted people to believe everybody was using needles back then too. It's the same question. Where are they coming from? Where were the needles coming from? Why was there so many needles on the grounds and in the hoods, just out in the open everywhere? That's how it was in the 70s. Just ask the people if they lived in those type of communities back then. Just, they said it was real bad back then because that's when this stuff had first kind of got like introduced real bad into hood communities, like just dumped there almost. So if you weren't an addict, you were a drug dealer, or you were a middleman, or you were somewhere in between, or your neighbor. That's how close it was to people back then. It was bad. It's literally old documentaries you can go watch about the 60s and 70s drug epidemic. It was bad. Um, and a lot of people were injecting and just abusing drugs back then. But once again, where were all those needles and drugs coming from? Same question. I mean, what kind of regular people are just sitting around with like needles just for fun? thought, but it's so funny how easy these stories way back from 1995. We are in 2025. So how many years is it? 25 plus years, and it comes back out because I swear people been asking me. It's been TikTok stories and videos on social media circulating of like actual celebrities that people be like, what happened to them? Did they get surgery or see? It used to just be that. That's how it started. It was just cosmetic surgery. If you look at it, it seemed like it was just you get a nose job, a cheek job, like small jobs. That's how it started. Just harmless cosmetic surgery. Harmless cosmetic surgery has turned into what? Um, because now people be getting these surgeries, and then the internet is seeing, the fans are seeing and be like, who is this person? Now, surgery is crazy when they make you look like a whole other person, literally. Like, they're like, now I can tell this person got a nose job or something, because, I mean, shouldn't you want to look a little like yourself? We understand a little Botox, a little nose job and stuff. But y'all be coming out these surgeries, and they see it on the internet. They see people talking about this, but y'all coming out these surgeries looking like a whole nother person. And that's where people haven't accepted that from the beginning. They said plastic surgery seems dangerous, like whatever this augmentation experiment is towards people's self-image. There should be a limit where doctors tell people no. If you don't need the surgery for life-threatening health risk, then you don't need the surgery. I told y'all it was just something about a man the other day that he got a nickname Alien Man on Instagram and TikTok, but now he just, I guess he's looking for help, guys. Like, but he came out and publicly admitted that if he could go back and redo things, that he wouldn't have got all of those tattoos, all of those body augmentations. He got a lot of different body surgeries to look, just to look like an alien. Like, maybe in his younger days, it was fun, he was bored, he put lots of money into these cosmetic procedures. Now, here it is years later, he regrets it. And he done had some serious surgeries, like getting his eyes tattooed, because you know people can do that. You can get your pupils tattooed, like a different color. Got injections and things under his skin to kind of make it look like he has scales and horns. That's not going to be easy surgeries for him to go back and undo. He can, and it's just sad because if people care about you, why they see you doing those surgeries, or soon as they see the surgeries getting too much, like you're doing a lot of it, they should. I mean, you can at least advise the person, hey, I think you're doing too much. That doesn't mean they're going to stop. Yeah, like that's crazy how they tell us that how people believe in the easy just his sexual life is so out of order. Because I know that probably does happen to some people. But we must remember with HIV and AIDS, you don't even have to be living a extra wild lifestyle. It doesn't take but one time. Just like with women, it don't take but one time for her to get pregnant. Well, it's that same thing, but it goes both ways for men and women, or whatever sex you are. It don't take but one you sleeping with one sick partner, bro. Do people not understand this? You don't have to be sleeping with no 10 people, 20 people. But now we know doing it that way is a faster way to probably contract and end up sick. And you sleeping with that many people unprotected. But it doesn't take but one. One, because I seen this one story of a girl that went on a plane. Some man flew her out to his country, then wrote her a letter talking about y'all. I know y'all seen this story before. I don't know if it was a true story, but I know it went viral. her a letter or something talking about, hey, I had a lot of fun. I just wanted to let you know that I'm sick. Like, why tell the person after you have already slept with them? Mhm. And he was like, he was a doctor. So imagine that. You think doctors don't be walking around here with those same type of STDs? And it doesn't matter if they're a doctor. Just like for us, regular people who are not doctors, if they catch a certain thing that there's no cure for, what does that mean for them? Doctors have to be careful too. They know most of them are married, but it doesn't mean they don't cheat, especially when they working 10, 12, 14-hour shifts at the hospital away from their husbands and wives. They're some of the main ones be cheating. No offense to medical staff personnel out there. We do love them. But we're saying, why don't we see where we're more similar instead of trying to be divided and pick sides? Because being a human is being a human. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, if you sleep with one wrong person too. No matter what your profession is. That's what people are learning. It's always been true, but I just think it's more in our faces now because of the internet. It's always been true. People just, they naturally do this. They elevate in life, they get a little more money, they're living a more financial freedom life, and then boom, they gotta have all these sexual partners. It just has to come with their new life. But why? It's like, oh, well, I've elevated, so now I get better men and women. Are you sure they're better? Or you just saying they're a better quality of men and women because of how they look, because of their money? That that can only be God. You know what I'm saying? Wanting to remind people that, hey, it doesn't matter what a person has. What is it? Who are they on the inside? Literally, like, are they sick? Do they take medicine every night? Are they telling you? Are they gonna tell you? Did the doctor tell them to take medicine and they're just not taking it? Like, are people telling people this stuff? No, they're not. But it's as old as a issue. It goes as far back two stories like the late Mr. Eric Wright, God rest his soul. I wish nothing but peace, abundance, and blessings to his surviving loved ones who still keep his memory alive through HIV and AIDS awareness campaigns and stuff like this. Because, boy, a time like today is better. It's better than never, or one of the best times, to speak up about it. I wonder what people like his family is saying, even right now, like during these Diddy trials, even if they're not publicly vocal about their reactions and opinions, I do wonder what they are feeling and thinking behind the scenes because this is crazy. Like, literally, the story they tell everybody how they really want Eric right here. You want everybody to know he was with so many women. He walked away from his career. One of the women got him sick. Like, come on, bro. Why didn't one of them came forward and said that? But nobody was ever prosecuted. Like, but, oh, the people today, you can go track in and trace everybody that said and you find their medical records. Like, bro, a person like me, that's not going to impress. Because why you can't find him and Eric Wright sick? Eric Wright, aka Easy. You ain't went and used that technology and medicine and intelligence to find out that. And that's the problem. We're just supposed to believe, okay, because that's the story they told us. Like, yeah, he just slept with so many people. He got sick. Okay, so why didn't we never hear nothing else from these people? Literally, this is what it is. Now with P. Diddy's stories and the allegations that surround his life, there allegedly are victims who say, you know what I'm saying, they might have. I mean, because that's what. Why do you think they offer you all this stuff when you join the industry, bro? And women is going to be a part of it. If you like a male artist, that's going to be one of the things. They're not just giving you a record deal and money. That's one of the main things. I bet during the signing party of the contract, they're going to make sure it's 25% 75 to 100 strippers to help you celebrate. Now, how would they look at you if you be like, no, 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 thanks, I don't want these uh, topless dancers around me just because I signed $1 million deal? They gonna look at you crazy. You a woman artist? I don't know how they celebrate, but I'm saying for the guys, I bet that's one of their little rewards when they sign these deals. I want to show you, look, you can have all the women you want. And they hope that you sleep with each and every one of them. Because guess what? How are you going to be able to tell which one of them gave you? You just felt like you were entitled to sleep with all the women behind the scenes because you're a star. Now, at one point, it was rumors going around about NBA YoungBoy having herpes, which is not my business or the next person's business, unless they plan on having those type of affairs with that man. And as we see, even with those rumors, see, sometimes maybe it's just rumors, but they was asking with NBA YoungBoy if people know him or if they allege or accuse him of having herpes, bro. Why do he have so many baby mamas? Like, are you trying to tell us that women don't care? If you have money, they don't care? Is that what this American experience is trying to show us? They don't care as long as he has the means to provide what is it? Afford her lavish lifestyle. She doesn't care if the man is sick. That's crazy. Whether you're a man of status, a man or woman of status or not, I just think the healthy thing to do is go ahead and disclose. Or, oh man, it's crazy, bro. I'm a part of that side of the conspiracy theorists that believe that he, I don't feel like that's how he contracted it. Everybody that was on the label that rap with him probably had thousands of women all the time too. You see Ice Cube still here, living healthy, looking good. Dr. Dre, uh, like all of them seem to be Snoop Dogg, which I'm gonna be honest. Snoop Dogg looks. They've been saying he looked kind of sickly too for quite some times, but I never thought that he looked sick with Snoop Dogg. I think old age and y'all know how he's known to smoke a lot. If he still do, but for many years he was known for that. He was like the first Wiz Khalifa type of deal. It was like our first vision, the original version of Wiz Khalifa, if you will. So he was just known. Now I say depending on how heavy your habit is, because when have we just been known to make a person smile, bro? But no, I was just asking them, like, what whose weed does that? Since when does it just make a person itty bitty and small? If it is doing that, people definitely notice the change because if anything, real cannabis, real reefer is gonna make you want to eat. Like it's gonna give you cravings, desires for food. Like you're gonna get what they call the munchies. Where I mean, it's still something I recommend for people. If you feel like you have an appetite problem, yeah, a little THC, see what happens. And you don't with THC, you don't have to. Though Trump is talking about banning gummies and THC, certain drinks, certain THC products. He's talking about banning certain THC products, but not the cannabis itself. Actually, he's proposing to update the bill to declassify, reclassify, and declassify cannabis. So that's actually good news to some Americans. Hmm. Oh, I was talking about Snoop Dogg, right? Like, out of all the names of celebrities that's been revealed and exposed or have gone viral for quote unquote looking different, even Lil Wayne now. But it's a difference between a sick look, like, oh, it might be lupus or cancer. That's the thing. Like, you cannot diagnose somebody. Doctors have sense enough to know this. You cannot diagnose somebody just looking at them, bro. Nobody's ever been able to do that. You can see some symptoms, and do you know how many diseases have similar symptoms? That's another thing. There are a lot of diseases that just have similar symptoms, just like the cold and the flu. That's two different sicknesses. The flu is like a worse version of the cold, but they are going to have similar. With the flu, you don't cough, but it's more of a harsh cough, like pneumonia sounding cough. With the flu, with a regular cold, you might just be coughing, and it might last like 2 or 3 days. The flu, you looking at weeks, anywhere from weeks to a month. You see, but there are sicknesses that have similar symptoms, and you can't just look upon a person's face and say, "Yeah, that's their disease." That's their disease, or at least what they got. Even doctors don't do that. Let me tell you what a doctor does. They're going to run tests. They're going to run a urine test, blood sample test, X-rays, sonograms, MRIs, body scans, whatever they need to do, because they know that that's stupid to. Oh, I'm gonna just write down on the paper. This is what you got, because this is what you look like today. Like what? You have to do tests. You have to wait till those test results come back, which could be anywhere from 48 hours to weeks, months with certain type of tests. See, people don't know what they be talking about, bro. Depending on what type of test it is, I repeat, the time length differs just for the results. So, of course, if you prolong the test, you're prolonging the results. Paternity tests, I think they got paternity tests now. You can pay to get them in as soon as a week or sooner. But a lot of these DNA paternity tests, just to see who the real parents is, some of those tests even take weeks to come back. You feel me? So it depends on what kind of test it is. But they said it was just suspect that they're saying by the time that he went to the doctor, he was already in his last stages. It's like saying the man wasn't getting his health checked out the whole time he had a music career. And you can't make him look bad. What does this say about his agents, the people that were supposed to care about him? No. You just want him to perform and produce music and music videos? No, these people gotta still get checkups and go to the doctor and get themselves and make sure they okay. That's why sometimes they do take a break. If the doctor tell you, hey, the doctor ain't care if you Chris Brown, bro. If you need a break, you need a break. You can't say, Doc, I'm Chris Brown. I got shows. I can't take a break. I mean, doctors at the end of the day can only give you their advice. I think they forget sometimes. Well, the power can't be in balance. Like, you're the doctor. You make more money. You have more education. You have more of a reason for me to trust your opinion. But um, you don't have a job without the clients coming in when it comes to the power balance of doctors and patients. This is my opinion. You have to listen to the patient. Like, you can't just, oh, I'm a diagnose you based on what I see or what I've seen before. Uh, New case studies are a real thing, even in hospital, even in the healthcare field. Something like a mutation maybe they haven't seen before, or a symptom they've never seen before. They pay attention to that type of stuff. So, yes, professionals are going to take the time out to do every test, every analysis, every hypothesis possible before they give you a whole diagnosis. But mature people understand this. They wouldn't call the doctor back every day talking about, is the test back yet? Is the test back yet? Is the test back yet? Why would they do that? Actually, if they call you and tell you the test came back, it don't hurt to ask for a second and a third one. Say, okay, that was the results right here. Now that we have the results right here, can we do a test every 3 weeks from here? Because now we're going to incorporate this treatment and that treatment, but you want to follow up with the treatments with any sickness to see if they're working. How else do you know whether or not you need to try something else? So that's the thing. Some people have tried the quote unquote medical field for a very, very long time. And they still like they still failed because my point is hospitals, their power and intelligence and reputation has not been able to save every single person. That's just a fact. That's why I'll never let anybody turn against at least the idea of holistic or independent healing, independent route or plans or research, right? But you might as well be a scientist if you can go, uh, which I don't encourage people to just experiment with everything they see on Google. That's another thing. As far as our privileges to modern day information or the access to research and information today. You can't just go off of Google and, oh, okay, this is what I do. Uh, like certain procedures, you should let a doctor do. Don't try to do it at home. Like there is a lot of not what you just say full blown healing remedies, but at least healing remedies until you get help and stuff like that. That's very real too. That's like you can be preventative about measures, even with your health, and you can also be uh, prepared. You know what I'm saying? Prepared, like already trying to keep yourself. You can ride 20 bikes a day, jog, lift weights, and still go through a unfortunate situation that makes you have to learn to re-walk again. You feel me? And before you had to relearn to walk, you knew how to walk, or you were a gymnast, or you were doing something where you very frequently use your legs. You see, um, but certain things you need to go to a doctor. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to encourage people to do everything at home. You should know those things, those signs, where it's okay to at least get tests for them. That's just the first step. But we all know you can't force treatment on anybody. And I feel like that's exactly why the law is like that. Like where medical records and stuff like that is people own privacy. Because when it comes down to it, they too have a right in the further plans of their own life and health, bro. Health is always kind of like a branch or attached to life. When you have the conversation about life, health is a big part of it. Thank you guys for hanging out this long so far. I thought I'd been on here longer than an hour, but I ain't gonna stay on here too much longer. I just wanted to give my opinions, commentary, and reaction to the whole Easy E story. And it is near the Christmas season and everything. Like, it matters. But back to that, people have a right to keep that kind of information private too. Y'all gotta understand that. Like, if the family chose later to keep certain things private about the situation, like, or they told just enough, like, yeah, this what got them, or this what made them sick, and they didn't want to like reveal more, they did have a right for it to be like that. Like, you can't stop people from talking, but as far as just you having to release everything about it, you don't necessarily have to, because that has to do with that person. But they said he himself came out and eventually revealed. That's what was weird to people. He revealed not that part, but the timing was weird to people. He hadn't too long just came out and actually revealed that himself. Like, yeah, this is what I'm struggling with. You feel me? Anybody can do that. Depending, you can be going through something that want to publicly tell your things. Uh, Very positive thoughts and prayers, and that's what they do. Either way, you just never know. Like, what if somebody just forced you to say it and you're not even sick? It would be as if you are, because why would a person tell the public that it is not true? That's a serious illness. Because at this point, that's the only thing people find so serious about it to me. Instead of just looking at what actually is helping to contribute, keep it out here. Because, yeah, they say some viruses are straight up man made, bro. Like, we just never know. Not all viruses and sicknesses and illnesses came from natural mixtures. Some of this stuff is just people mixing two diseases or sicknesses, bacteria, germs together just because they want to experiment. But to me, everything at the end of the day, it has some kind of resistance. You can be so busy trying to be the resistance to one thing that's crazy. Like just trying to be the actual resistance, or because resistance is already all over the world. That's what physics is about. It's motion, force, energy. That's physics, bro. That's still science. Uh, Crazy because medicine, holistic healing, all of that, that's science too. But it's not ever any one of our faults that somebody else want to sit and hold create a disease or something like bacteria and stuff to hurt people. I mean, if they do it with that intent, of course that's wrong. But if you just do an experiment and something horrible come out of it, like on the movie Resident Evil and everything, that movie, them people turned into zombies because of an experiment somebody did. That's how it started. If you haven't seen it, it's a great recommendation. They have the Resident Evil Part 1, 2, 3. I think they got like 5 parts, but part 1 is gonna be the best part you watch. That's how you understand the others. Resident Evil. So they all working in the lab like they do on a normal day. One of the people dropped over one of the mixtures that stuff got in the earth. All the people with that stuff in, and they suddenly was acting zombies. Their brain cells had literally, if you pay attention to the movie, their brain cells began to mutate. So it was as if they were dead. But zombies, they're really not dead, as you see. They still walk on. They still can move around, do everything a human does. But something was beginning to happen to their brain cells, a bacteria. Uh, it was weird. Making up, oh, they ended up locking them in. So none of them infected people could get out and infect other people. Something I like to pay attention to in life. I've never been through nothing like that, but it's just like, what if something like that could happen? You feel me? Because if too many people in your area, that's what people don't understand. Too many people in your area is affected, bro. Like them doing actual quarantine on those movies, like mandatory quarantine, where the town is shut down, nobody can leave, nobody can go out, because we're trying to contain this quote unquote sickness or whatever it is. They got movies about this. And I think there's been times they have to do this for real in history. Like, if a place is infected, they have to quarantine all the people that have to stay there. They can't go nowhere until they get vaccines or something going. They're not gonna just let y'all back out in society to go infect other people. That's how it would go with those type of viruses in military movies. thrillers and horrors and stuff they have about zombies, because that's how these zombies usually start. Zombies, zombies is something different. That's just an infection of the brain. They're not like vampires. They're something totally different. Like, still their person body and everything. Something just a whole different type of bacteria took over their person's brain, bro. Like, they're not the same person, but they are. That's what's scary about zombies and zombie stories. Like, in some of the movies, they be having vaccines where they can stick the person and the person turns back. You will see that with Resident Evil Part 3, I think it is. I forgot that girl name. She's a great actress. She plays in Fast and Furious. But it's a great movie to check out. Resident Evil Part 1, 2, and 3. In that one, they actually end up finding a vaccine or whatever. Like, if they could stick you with it, you would turn back, you know, you're not even a zombie no more. You might still be suffering some of the injuries that you incurred while you was a zombie. But some kind of way it would help the person. They just slowly calm down like that. "Mm." But the zombies, they're not like vampires. They like to actually eat each other. They really lose their mind. They go violent. They go violent, and then other actual physical attributes like rabies, some with their eyes. There's all kind of different kind of zombies. Rest in peace to Easy E. We're not saying he was a zombie or anything. It's just when you go back to science and how they were saying he passed away. Like, down the street in my 6'4".